Hello and welcome back to this Anfield Agenda player ratings video after Liverpool lost 2-1 to Man United. I have gone through every player with my cat, and I've decided if you don't agree with my numbers, because I don't do player ratings very often, if you don't agree, it's the cat's fault. If you agree, I'm a genius, okay? So I have discussed everyone's performances with the cat. The cat is a known Salah hater, of course, so we will let her down now before she kills me. Anyway, like I said, I don't usually do these things, so look, if you disagree with me, fair enough, but please don't be too harsh in the comments. I am new to this. I done the watch along for the first time today. I couldn't put 100% of my focus on the game, so if you disagree with me, fair enough, but let's try not to get too aggro in the comments, alright? So let's start with the referee, the man in the middle, Michael Oliver today. I thought he was pretty poor in all honesty. Most stuff seemed to go United's way. I remember like the first goal, let's say, like there was an argument to be had for McAllister having a head injury. Maybe that should have been stopped. There was a few 50-50s that went United's way, that half went their way. There was an incident, I can't remember who it was, but someone got cleared out of it and it was somehow a foul the other way. So, yeah, I thought Michael Oliver, no good today. I have given him a 3, which I think is quite generous, and the audience has gone for 3 as well. Marmardashvili then in goal. Not the easiest game for him, obviously. I'm still getting annoyed by the fact that all of our players pass the ball to his right foot as if he's right footed. He is left footed, of course. That puts him under more pressure than he should be under. Alas, again, not a great game from today. First goal, maybe should have done a little bit better. I'm not going to go too harsh on him because I think like we shouldn't have been in that position to give away the chance in the first place at all anyway. So not going to blame him for the goal. Maybe could have done a little bit better. Some people in the match reaction thought he could have done a little bit better for the second goal. Maybe he could have come out and punched the ball, which is fair enough as well. But I today have given him a 5. You've gone for 4.6. Not the worst display I've ever seen from a Liverpool goalkeeper by any stretch, but yeah, not at his best. I'm sure we'll see better from Mamardashvili in the weeks to come as Alisson comes back from injury in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Conor Bradley then, I thought he was probably one of the better of our players on the pitch. Like, again, not to say he was good as such, but best of a bad bunch, really. I thought he done decent down the right, got a few decent crosses in. Not too bad defensively as a whole. Yeah, again, I've gone for a 6 and you've gone for a 5.4. People trying to claim Irish bias, maybe I am, which is fair enough as well, but I thought Conor Bradley was one of our better players today. Again, not fantastic, but everyone played quite poorly today, so a 6 for Conor Bradley. Ibu Kanate then, I thought he was a little bit shaky. Few decent headed clearance as well, to be fair to him, but definitely not his best game, probably not his worst game either, but we're looking too open at the back, so I think that does come down to our two centre backs as well as maybe the defensive frailties in midfield, like maybe not Gravenberg not sitting back enough as well, maybe leaves him a bit more exposed. But I have gone for a 4 today for Kanate. You've gone for a 4.4. Again, not to say he was his worst ever performance, but certainly not his best either. In a similar vein, then Virgil van Dijk, I thought he was pretty much the same. Like, again, just not very good at the back today. So I'm going to fly through this one. In all honesty, I gave him a 4 as well. You've gone for a 4.2. I think the two of them as a partnership today just didn't look very steady. So I've given a 4 to both of them for fairness sake. Again, I don't do these player ratings very often, so slate me if you want, but that's just how I seen the game. Kirkes then on the left, I thought he was very poor in all honesty. I haven't been too impressed with him since he come in fairness, and I know he will get better. Like, obviously everyone's playing bad. I have to caveat every single player like saying that the whole team is performing badly, but Kirkes in particular, he just looks all over the shop. Like, he was a few times he just completely gave the ball away, just passed the ball out of play, just yeah, not great from him today. So I have gone for a 4 out of 10, and you've gone for a slightly more generous 5.2. Again, not a million miles away from each other, but I thought Kirkes was one of the worst players of our defence today. I thought Conor Bradley done a better job on the right hand side compared to Kirkes on the left. Into midfield then, Ryan Gravenberch. Again, not his best game. I thought he was alright. I can't remember a huge amount of what he done right or wrong, so I've given him a 5. You've gone for a 4.6. Again, I was doing the watch along for the first time, so I didn't really get to pay 100% attention to the game, but nothing really stood out to me as him being horrendous. But the contributing factors of him not staying back to shield the defence obviously doesn't help either. So I've gone for a 5 on that one. You, of course, have gone for a 4.6. Let us know in the comments if you agree with that or if you disagree. McAllister then, I thought he looked sharp in fairness compared to what I thought he would. Like, he played the full 90 minutes for Argentina on, I think it was Thursday night, if not Wednesday night. Like, a lot of travel back then to Liverpool. I thought he wouldn't be sharp. I probably wouldn't have started him today, but he was probably the better of our midfield two there in fairness. So I've gone for a 6, you've gone for a 5.8. Again, not vintage McAllister, but he's getting back to what we know he can be. He hasn't been fantastic so far this season, but if he can slowly build on this performance today, I think he can slowly start to establish himself back into that team as well. Because, like I said, he hasn't been as brilliant best, but we know how good McAllister is, and I'm sure he'll start hitting those heights again soon. Dominic Szoboszlai then, I thought he was quite good in midfield. I thought he was pretty poor when he got moved to right back, which obviously I'm not going to hold against him too much when that's not his position, but he got a few people went past him just a little bit too easily for my liking at right back. But when he was in midfield, I thought he'd done a solid job. I have gone for a 6, you've gone for a 6.3. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh with a 6. Maybe he was one of our better players. I thought he just, that counter-attack in the second half, Szoboszlai got the ball. He was just a little bit slow to get away. Maybe could have put the ball off quicker to Salah on the right, or just had a bit more pace to get away, but he kind of turned into traffic then. And there was just a few instances like that. But in general, I thought he was decent, to be fair. Like, definitely not the worst player on the pitch. So I've gone with a 6, and you've gone for a 6.3. Mo Salah then, I thought he was fairly anonymous. Like, there was a few chances that came his way then as well. Like, one in particular, the ball fell to him at the back post, and you kind of just like stabbed at it and put it wide. But again, he just hasn't been on form. I don't know what to do about it, because you can't pay a man £400,000 a week and then leave him on the bench. Like, I just can't fathom a world where that is the solution to Liverpool's problem. So either we figure out how to manage his minutes better to get him a bit more sharp, or we start looking at solutions to how to get him into the team more. Do you move him a bit more central rather than keep him out wide, So I'm open to suggestions on what we should be doing with Salah, but again, not his best game today. I've given him a 3.5, so I thought he was very poor in our front line, to be honest. And you've gone for a 4, so please let me know what you think on that one. Cody Gakpo then, this is the only one, because I did have to look at the numbers obviously when I was putting my own numbers in and comparing them to your guys' numbers. This was the only one that was a stark contrast. So I've gone for a 6, and you've gone for a 2.8. Like, I think 2.8 is ridiculous in all honesty. Like, he hit the post 3 times and scored 1. Like, fair enough, there was a big chance he missed as well, which he should have scored. There's no denying that, but people are saying he offers nothing. I thought he was decent enough today. But between him, Bradley, and Szoboszlai probably are some of our 3 of our better players today. Actually created a few chances. Like, he actually, like, another day he scores a hat-trick there and you're giving him a 10. So I think 2.8 is ridiculous. If you give him a 5, I'd say, look, fair enough, maybe we see it slightly different. But I think a 2.8 is a little bit of forced hate towards Cody today. I didn't think he was that bad at all. So I've given him a 6. Like, again, fair enough, if you want to disagree with me, then do. But I thought he was much better than a 2.8. Isak then didn't really get on the ball a whole lot, did he? Like, he had that one chance in the first half where he just couldn't get past the keeper, and he probably should have. Like, another 8 out of 10 times maybe he does bury that one, but didn't fall for him today. I have given him a 5. You've gone for a 5.2. Like, I don't know what the solution is. Like, is it him playing bad, or is it just us not suiting him at all? Like, we're not giving him any service whatsoever. So I think it's harsh to like put a lot of blame on him, but he certainly needs to be getting more involved and creating more chances for himself, because we know how good a player he is. Like, it's going to take time to adapt as well, obviously, but Arna himself said he's now up to 100% fitness, and we should be judging him fairly from now on. So I think on another day, if it was a few weeks ago, I probably would have given him a 6 and said more about the fact that we're not giving him the service. But like Arna said, he is up to 100% fitness now. He should be bedding in. If he's keeping Ekitike out of the team, he needs to be like providing goals and scoring goals. So for me, it was a 5 today. I'm sure he will get better, but yeah, not exactly vintage Alexander Isak today either. Curtis Jones then when he came on, I think Curtis Jones is another one who gets a lot of hate, to be fair. Like, I think it's a little bit forced. Should he be starting every game? Absolutely not. But is he more than capable of being a good squad player? Yes, like, he is a very good option to have on the bench. He comes on, like, he's very good at taking the ball and starting an attack. I think that's quite underrated, just be able to keep the ball. Like, we seem to give away the ball a lot this season. So for him to actually just be able to keep the ball, it does take a few too many touches at times as well, to be fair. But in general, I thought today he was half decent, so I gave him a 6. I think giving him a 5 would have been a bit harsh, but 5.5 from you guys is pretty much for a 6 as well, so we're not too far off on that one. Florian Wirtz then, I thought he looked sharp-ish. He looked decent when he came on. Like, he created a few chances, gave the ball away a few times as well, but definitely not his worst performance in Liverpool shirt. Still not exactly blowing everyone away, but again, yeah, I think I would have brought him on at half time personally for McAllister, just to kind of rest him up a bit after travelling that distance and playing the 90 minutes during the week. But Arna opted to bring him on slightly later. I think it was about a 60-minute mark, and he did create a few chances, to be fair to him. So I've gone for a 6, you've gone for a 5.7, not too far off in that one again. So please let me know again what you thought of Florian's performance. I probably would have started him in all honesty in the game, but when he didn't start, I would have brought him on at half time. So let me know, like, should we have maybe started him? Would you, in retrospect, have started him today? So, yeah, let me know in the comments on that one. Ekitike then. I think he was actually fantastic when he came on, like, relative to everyone else. Like, still not up to the highest standards that we know he can play at, but he was actually running at the defence. He had a few shots. He actually made a bit of space for himself. Like, in contrast to Isak, he really got involved really quickly. I'm not saying that to slag off Isak too much either, but I just thought Ekitike looked so sharp, and I think he should be ahead of Isak in the pecking order at the minute, just based off current form, how far embedded into the team they are. Isak long term will, I'm sure, be the number 9, but when we're struggling for wins, we need to just grind out results, and I think Ekitike through the centre is how we do that, because when we started the season with him there, he was banging in goals, we were getting wins, we weren't performing fantastically, but we were still getting points on the board, so I would go back to that. Today I've given him a 6.5. I thought, again, like I said, he was one of our better players when he came on. He was looking sharp. You've gone for 6.2, which again isn't too far off, but yeah, again, I thought he was probably the best of the subs anyway, if not one of the better performances we've seen there on the pitch today. Federico Chiesa then, again, another one that a lot of people would have started or brought on a bit earlier. I probably would have brought him on around the 60-minute mark, in all honesty. I would have went with Wirtz and Ekitike at half time and then brought Chiesa on if we hadn't scored by the 65th minute. I think he came on for about 18 minutes in the end, but he got his assist, in fairness to him. I don't remember a huge amount else that he did right or wrong, to be honest, so I've gone for a 6, just purely because he did get that assist for Cody Gakpo's goal. Everyone loves Fede, don't they? I think I can't give him less than a 6, because I do love him. But yeah, 5.6 again, not too far off. Jeremy Frimpong then, I thought he looked sharp, but not like hugely sharp. Like, he looked a little bit more dangerous down the right than Mo Salah, just in terms of he had that little bit of pace, a little bit of trickery to get past the player. So I've gone for a 4 because I thought he wasn't fantastic, but offered a little bit more. 2.9 I think is a bit harsh. I think he's probably deserving of a 4 or 4.5 at least. But yeah, not the best from Frimpong either. But then again, didn't have a huge amount of time on the pitch either. So I've gone for a 4, but you've gone for 2.9. Arne Slot then, I think it has to be a low rating just because we've lost at home. It's 4 games in a row now we've lost, and it's just shocking. Like, I don't know what to even say anymore. Like, the man has big questions to answer. I'm not anywhere near the point of wanting him gone or anything like that, but something needs to change. Like, I've said it so many times today, but it's not a coincidence when 9, 10, or 11 of your players are playing absolutely shite. Like, it is a system thing. Like, all these players went off to play for the countries, played well, scored goals, qualified for the World Cup, like, just done well. They come back then and straight back to the same problems of everyone just underperforming. So I don't know what Slot needs to change, but he needs to change something, and he needs to change something quick before this season is over, because we really can't afford to be dropping too many points. Can't afford to drop behind Arsenal by too many points moving into the latter part of the season. I think if we can stay within 3 or 4 points, there's always a chance. But if it gets to a point where we were 5 points clear and then we go like 6, 7, 8 points behind, that is just shocking. So today for Arne, I've gone for a 3. You've gone for 2.8. And I think that's, like, it's fair enough. Like, he just was poor today. He should have made changes sooner, in my opinion. Not to say I know more than Arne, but in my opinion, that should have been what happened. Should have figured out, like, again, the first half was so poor, and he just left it go for another 15, 20 minutes. Like, it just, I don't know how we can look at that and think, yeah, that's perfect, we'll go out and do the same thing again. So I've gone for a 3, but do please let me know. Did you agree? Did you disagree with any of these ratings? Again, I'm new to this, so feel free, like, if you want to slate me, do, but be nice about it. Like I said, if you didn't agree, it was the cat. If you do agree, it was me. So thank you for watching this video. Hit the subscribe button before you head out. Just want to say thank you again for everyone for joining me for the watch along. I was quite nervous doing it today, and everyone made me feel so at ease and just really just brought me through the whole thing. So thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Craig was at the game today, of course. He'll be back tomorrow, so back to normal content then, and I'm sure he'll have a lot to say about the game at some point. He'll be going on stage now any minute now in Hot Water Comedy Club, so that should be an interesting one to hear about afterwards. Anyway, that's all from me for today. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon.